Hi everyone, so this is my setup. I use PDG, I use a top network instead the version. So not top geometry, but top network. This one. And inside top network, I will open my other panel. So for beginning, in local scheduler, I use equal to CPU countless 1. And to generate version, to use version, I use wedge. In the wedge, I use wedge count 2. And I create one attribute. I name it version. Attribute type integer. And a range 0 and 1. And this is 0 and 1. It will be used for the versioning. In switch 1, I just type arrobas version. And when I click on this work item, the green dot, the version change. Version 1, version 0. When I double click, I get this information here too. And this attribute is used in all setup. The advantage of the PDG. After, I use a rope fetch. This one. And to configure the rope fetch, first generate when all upstreams items are cooked. In first tab rope configuration, just drag and drop the file cache. This one it's Robotoy particle sim. This one. So drag and drop. And in frame and batching, just be careful. Here evaluate using frame range. And check this one or frame in one batch. If you don't check this one and you let by default frames per batch 1, Houdini will create in memory one thread per frame. So we get 150 frame, and you will create 150 thread, 50 process, item process. So just check all frame in one batch. And in file cache node, on base name, I often use op name and this relative path to get the parent node name, downwash effect. Like that, I ensure this name is unique, because at this level object, we can get only one name. The node names are unique. And after I use underscore backtick $OS, underscore V, and backtick wedge index. This is this one, and this is this one to manage version. Here version 0 when index 0, version 0 when index 0, and this one, version 1 when index 1. And this is how I manage the versioning. After the rope fetch, I use a partition by index. The partition by index, the first tab, the index, we need to select secondary input tools all. Because if you don't select this one, and if we let by default by index, it will create a bunch of partitions. Like that. You just take this green dot, the work item, and you create one partition by work items. We don't want that. No, never. So, when I use all in roles, now I get my two not work items but two partitions. And if I check in double click, using double click, version 0, when index 0, perfect, and this one, version 1, wedge index 1. After I use this one, this is a Python script pre-render. This is the same thing we use for the axiom to activate the axiom simulation. And this one, in-app simulation, if I do Shift-V to dirty and cook, hop, this is activate. And I use this rope fetch. This is rope fetch, this is this one, to manage this file cache. The same things, important wedge index to use the versioning. I do Shift-V. It cooks instantly because I already cook it and it just reads the cache. Same things, drag and drop here the file cache. Frame and batching, always check all frame in one batch. And generate when all upstream are cooked. I don't say this for this one, but I use true. All upstream when are cooked, it's very important, and you get this pink icon. The difference is if you use all upstream are generated, it just virtually compute. You don't get geometry. It's a gray dot, and sometimes you will try to execute this raw fetch, this file cache, and you get no geometry. It's only virtual gray dot. So all upstream items are cooked. After I use the wait for all, when I use wait for all, I just get one partition. It's exactly what I want because here I have my action post-render script. And this script executes just one time when all simulations are finished, when all versions are finished and the simulation go to off. And load from disk in app simulation is off. I use two a partition by index, widgetDex 0 and widgetDex 1. And same things, secondary input rules to all. Same things per one particle sim. Same syntax. Drag and drop here, and frame and batching, frame range, and all frame in one batch. Now this part, it's for the preview. For the preview, I don't use the standard flipbook here. I use a RopeNet and OpenGL viewer here and OpenGL render here to get multiple versions on one video, like that. I get in one video all versions. For now, I only use version 0 and version 1, and you can use you can display other attributes. It will be interesting, and I will go deeper when I finished the workshop on Hydroman. I will show you what we can do with it, and it's very, very powerful. So, I use a rope fetch. In this rope fetch, on rope configuration, first tab, I use the OpenGL, this one. I copy this OpenGL one, and I paste here. And in frame and batching, same as the others, all frame in one batch. And here, select single frame, because in OpenGL 1, it's here we select render frame range. I choose my camera. By default, I delete the stars, the candidate object, and for subject, I use render underscore stars. It renders all my nodes here. For the output tab, I create a PDG folder, /render, /v underscore and the arrobas widgetDex in backtick. We will generate this one. And this one, this is a text overlay. This is the version 0 we appear on the bottom of the screen. This one, version 0, version 1. And it's here we can display many attributes. Attribute we need. Like that, for example, you can display 4 versions at the same times and say, okay, this one with this strength is okay, I get this one, version 2. After I use the partition by frame, and here you can see 150 frame because we get 2 versions. Total of frame 300 and the 300 divided by 2 because we get 2 versions. This number is okay. It's a good news. Now ImageMagick. So I'm using ImageMagick for macOS, for Apple Silicon. I'm using a MacBook Pro and its specific installation path. If you need to install it, don't hesitate, feel free to ask to me, I will show you in video. And on Windows, it's very simple. By default, it's system path, and just install ImageMagick on Windows and all it's okay. I change the output file path. I use this folder PDG. I create a folder montage, v underscore, in backtick widgetDex, /render.$f.png. After I use a wait for all, like that I get just only one partition, and I create the movie, the video. And for the video, I use FFmpeg. This one, FFmpeg encode video. And I change the output file. I just create video, a folder video in my heap folder. And I use backtick pdg name.mp4. And that's all, that's my setup. Feel free to ask me, I try to answer on the chat or make a video. And in France, it's late, it's time to go to bed, so I'm going to sleep. Good night.